Hello and a happy Easter to everybody. Easter, of course, this year falling in at the same time as Passover, as it usually does, and of course there's a very strong connection between those two events. Not always been easy, though, to keep the link because the Hebrew calendar is different from the calendar followed by the Orthodox churches in the east of Christendom, and the Gregorian calendar followed by the churches in the western of Christendom is different again. But they all agree that Easter and Passover follow the first full moon after the spring equinox. And of course that's why the date of Easter changes, because though the spring equinox is always around about March the 20th, the full moon varies because the calendars and the cycle of the moon are not particularly aligned. So we have this confusion about what date Easter is and how it aligns with Passover, and this even goes back to the very early days of Christianity, when it was argued that by Polycarp, one of the best known and influential early theologians, that Easter should be celebrated on the correct day, the day of the first full moon after the spring equinox. But the Pope at the time decided that he thought it ought to be celebrated always on a Sunday, and so it now is. But the link with Passover, however difficult and complicated it has been, has always been maintained. Indeed, the Orthodox Church has a different date for Easter sometimes from the Western Church, because it insists that it must come after the date on which Passover is celebrated, because Jesus' death and resurrection followed Passover, and they want to keep that link. And I think the reason for the link is crucial. It reminds us what the basic meaning of the resurrection is. It is a setting free. The Passover is a celebration of God setting free the people of Israel from their captivity in Egypt. And the resurrection is a celebration of God setting us free from the fear of sin, the fear of death, the fear of guilt. It's proving God's power over all those things which threaten to undermine human happiness, and to set us free to live rich, full lives full of hope and confidence, because we have the power of God's love demonstrated in the setting free which Christ demonstrated by rising from the dead, and which is offered to all of us to share in. And so today, as I continue to celebrate Easter, I do so along with people celebrating it on a different day and in different ways, and along with the Jewish people who celebrate their freedom, limited perhaps to a non-Christian approach, but nevertheless celebrating the power of God to set people free, which we all share and which we can all celebrate as near to the same day to each other as possible.